Hey guys, Miss S here again. I thought of a pretty healthy snack that maybe you guys would like to learn how to make. It's called hummus. It's made out of garbanzo beans. There's some lemon juice, garlic, and some salt, and then you put olive oil and pepper on top. So I have a recipe on an app on my phone. So let's get to it. First thing you want to do is put 2 cloves of garlic into the blender. So with garlic, you have to take off the paper part. The other thing you want to do is, using a sharp knife, just trim off. You'll see that end there is kind of icky. So I just want to trim off that end. So 1 clove of garlic. With garlic, you just pull it off of there, and as you can see, when it fell, it peeled itself. But we still want to peel that rough end off of it. And if you watched my video about making mini pizzas, you know that in our house, we love garlic. So, you got it. I'm going to add a 3rd clove, even though the recipe calls for 2. So remember that. You know, you follow the recipe, but if you like a little more of something, you can always add a little bit more. Okay. The directions say, in a blender, chop garlic. Okay. So I'm going to put the lid on my blender so nothing comes out. And a chop, you know, I'm not really sure. I'm just going to guess about halfway. All right, well that chopped it. A little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay, I think it's all chopped. Now, the next thing it says to do is to pour the garbanzo beans into the blender. So, I'm going to use my can opener, put it on the side. If you need a little help with this, definitely ask someone that you live with. You clamp it on the side and you just turn it. That's how you open a can. Very carefully, because the edges are sharp. Take that off. And I read ahead in my recipe, that is definitely a trick. As you're cooking, if you are following a recipe, you want to read it all the way through first. So you know what you're doing before you even start. Okay, so our can of garbanzo beans. We open up the blender, we pour in the garbanzo beans, and it did say to use the liquid, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so we are going to, here we go. Sometimes I turn it off a little to kind of give it a minute to reset if it doesn't seem like it's blending really good. There it goes. Very nice. Okay, looks blended. Now, what I'm going to do is add the lemon juice and the salt to the blender. So, lemon juice, I go back up to my recipe. It says 4 tablespoons. Now remember, a tablespoon is the big T, not the little t. So, this is the big tablespoon. T-B-S-P. Tablespoon. All right, so 4 of these. That seems like a lot. I'm going to start out with 3. Because that's another thing I will tell you is, if you don't really like a particular flavor, you can always add a little bit less. And yeah, my family, not real huge fans of lemon. So I know I want the flavor in there, but I don't want it to be too strong. So I just added a little bit less. And then we'll see. I mean, I might taste it and decide that I do want 4, in which case I can add it later. But you can't take anything out. All right, here we go. Oh, and salt. I almost forgot the salt. 1 teaspoon of salt, and you'll see teaspoon is TSP. So I just use my salt shaker and I fill this with the salt. Takes a little while because it's just coming out of one hole on there. But that's okay. Patience, right? All right. Teaspoon of salt. Okay. Then we're going to give it another blend. Oh, this looks really good. I think it's going to taste good. So I'm going to get a spoon. To open this up. Now, before I stick a metal spoon in the blender, a blender is plugged in. To be safe, I want to unplug my blender so that I can give it a little stir and give it a little taste to see if I like it. I'm glad I added a little less lemon and a little more garlic. I think it tastes really, really good. So now what I will do is move my blender back. Now I need to put this into a bowl. So I have my bowl ready, and I'm going to take the blender and pour the hummus into the bowl. I have my spatula to help scrape that out. And then it says to put on olive oil and black pepper. So we're going to do that. So it says 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Again, that sounds like a lot to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drizzle it on top, just a little bit. And then I'm going to put the pepper on top. And there we have it, hummus. So now what can you do with this hummus? Now you've taken this can of beans and you've made this dip. What do you do with it? You could eat it with some cut up vegetables. You could eat it with cut up pita chips. I think that's all I've really ever eaten hummus with is vegetables or pita chips. But if you think of something else, feel free to comment and let me know what you ate your hummus with. All right, I hope you learned how to make a quick, easy, delicious, and nutritious snack. Until next time, take care.